Take two. Fucking technology, fucking machine spirit, prick headset. Right. Welcome back again to Grumpy Grognard Gaming and another wonderful episode of CHEBS. Which is quite ironic because we were obviously, you know, me and Matt, breast obsessed. And it turns out that Lady Custodes don't have any Matt.
Don't have any Matt?
Any Matt, no. They're only gloss.
I'm afraid I can't confirm or deny this rumour. I'm incriminating myself, Your Honour.
But where we have been going around calling them Custodes, which I thought was a brilliant nickname.
It was a brilliant nickname.
It appears that Lady Custodes, Femstodes, whatever you call them, they are bereft. They just look like giant men with tiny little pinheads.
Well, the heads, I think it's the armour that makes the head look small. I'm sure their head's in
I
decent proportion.
I need to stream my screen to you, clearly. There you go. So you should be seeing a picture right now of Custodes, Lady Custodes without the armour.
No.
And as you can see, she's got quite a small head in comparison.
Well, it's not Beetlejuice standard, but
no, it's not quite Bob. It's not quite Bob. Yeah, certainly it's not. It's not exactly Lady Dimitrescu, is it? It's no, I would have.
I'll be back in half an hour.
Yeah, I would have expected something in between those. I would have expected something a bit more like a female weightlifter, maybe. This just kind of looks like what they would make a female space marine like.
Which, stop saying that.
You know, hopefully we never get. But yeah, so yeah, GW's done this at the end of the day. A lot of people aren't happy about it. They weren't happy the first time round. What I would say is that I appreciated the little bit that GW put in the community article even less than I appreciated the gaslighting the last time round. Because the last time round it was female Custodes have always existed.
No.
And we're like, no, they fucking haven't.
Clearly not.
You know, if they did, then they've certainly not done anything worth a damn for the last, God knows how long, whatever. But
well, to be honest, that seems to be a Custodes thing. They haven't done a lot in general.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been books about them. You've had like the oh god, what are they called? The
first heretic I remember
Iron
being
Throne,
great.
Watcher's Throne. I don't know, something.
Dark Throne.
You've had not Fenris and the boys. No, you've had you've had some Black Library books. Chris Raitt did a series. Shadow Throne, maybe Shadow Region.
Maybe his work's generally quite solid.
It is good, yes. So there has been material on the Custodes, is what I'm saying, and ladies have never been mentioned.
No,
never been mentioned.
No,
and
but brotherhoods have.
Indeed,
and dudes.
Yeah, dudes and men. And it's fair to say that, you know, what GW did by turning around and saying that they've always been there, you've just not noticed, is kind of
bollocks.
Kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like fuck off GW. We're not down with that. I'm not buying it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not fucking buying that, basically.
Yeah, I suspect that was just someone on the community team getting a little bit carried away with their self-importance and their own opinion.
Yeah, yes, potentially.
What I say goes because I'm on the community team, and then someone at Games Workshop's gone, for fuck's sake, just I don't give a shit anymore, just carry on.
They let the intern loose again.
Yeah.
But this time round, they did a lovely little lecture to the fans, going, basically, it's always been able to change. Everything's been always able to change, and we can change anything when we want to.
True, it is theirs.
And I was kind of like, well, yeah, GW, we knew that. We didn't need to be told that, like, 2-year-olds. Do you know what I mean?
We just don't need to be fibbed to.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, we understand it's your IP. I don't think anybody is of any allusion to that at all.
No.
And I think just turning around like that and going, it kind of reeks to me like fucking Vader and Lando Calrissian. You know, kind of like, I have changed the deal. Pray I don't change it
Don't change it any further.
And, you know, it's kind of like, it's kind of like GW going, look, we can change this anytime we want. Don't bitch, because we'll change it more and you won't like it, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, we know that they can. You know, they are the fucking holders of the IP. They, you know, we're fully aware that they can change this shit whenever they want. And that's going to be the way it is because, you know, they are GW, they hold the IP, they made it. It's just like, yeah, fair enough.
At least be respectful to the fans when you do it. Like, we do pay you after all.
Yeah, kind of. I think there's a certain amount of respectability. There's a certain amount of good faith, I guess. Kind of like, just don't turn around and fuck off your fans. There's going to be people who are just like, yeah, you tell the church, you tell them. But GW, I hate to tell you this, they're not the people that make up the majority of your revenue. They really aren't.
They're really not.
So from that perspective, I think that, you know, you need to think a bit more carefully. And some of the stuff that you've posted, you know, has not been conducive to that. It's been kind of like antagonistic. And for me, that is the mark of a company that's going down the wrong route, is when you start being antagonistic to some of your fans.
Yeah.
There's so many better ways that you could have said this. And I think that's the main thing for me. That's more than any of the actual changes that they're making. It's the fact that they're doing
That's where they're going about it.
fan baiting. Yeah, exactly. You know, do I like the idea of female custodians? Not particularly. I especially don't like the fact they've been really lazy and just said, oh no, they're all the same armour. It's exactly the same with the armour on. You can't tell. So we don't have to make any models because we're lazy. I don't particularly like that. I would have liked some bit of effort in. Had GW turned around and gone, look, here's some apocalyptic, earth-shattering event that happened, and, you know, now the Custodians has to have ladies in it as well. I suspect a good proportion of the people who are, like, miffed about it would be like, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough, cool. You've explained, you know what I mean? You've done the legwork, you've explained it, you've put in the effort to do something to explain this.
Yeah.
But to just turn around and go, yep, they've always been there. It's just a bit shit.
Yeah, a bit like Titus in Space Marine 2, where you're seeing all the promo stuff. You're like, hey, he looks suspiciously like a Primaris Marine now. And then you play the game and he starts off in a Death Watch and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I see how that happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, you go through the motions and it's been like, this is what happened here.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, fine, nice one.
Whereas,
like, yeah, you don't just go, oh no, he's always been a Primaris, and you're like, clearly he fucking wasn't. Like,
yeah, you see him with the lines across his neck and his arms. He's literally been chopped apart,
taken to bits and put back together again.
And yeah, people are fine. As much as I don't like the Primaris, and I certainly don't like what they represent, people are fine with that because you've given a path and a cause and effect, and you're like, okay, this is why this has happened.
Put the work in.
But here they don't seem to have put the work in at all. So you've now got this Lady Custodes, and to be honest, I thought the episode was fine. I thought it was quite good that you had to put your subtitles on, otherwise you couldn't understand what the Sister of Silence was saying unless you are actually fluent in British Sign Language.
Is it proper? Is it proper BSL?
Proper BSL, yeah.
Nice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Nice one, Games Workshop.
Actually speaking BSL, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that.
I thought it was quite funny. Every single Marine or other person that wasn't the custode that she signed to were just like, I don't know what you're saying. And she's just like, oh, fuck's sake.
Rolling her eyes at the Space Marine.
Like, yeah, there was a bit of an eye roll, but it's kind of like, really? He's probably never met a Sister of Silence before. Why would you expect him to know what you're signing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, she kind of looks like Brienne of Tarth, but like way less feminine is the way I would describe the Femstodians, to be honest. She was voiced quite well. She was animated very well. She was badass, and I've got no problems at all with her being badass. It's like, she's a fucking Custodes. She should be badass. But as I say, when you look at this picture, she is exactly the same. There's no difference at all. There's no boob plate, none of that. She just looks like a Custodes.
I suspect that was probably just a sign of the times, and also goes some way to placate people who are like, I don't know female custodes in my army. And it's like, well, okay, because now you can't tell the difference anyway when they're all armoured up. So it's a moot point.
I suspect more than that, Matt, to be honest. It's laziness on GW's part. We don't have the resources or the desire or the time to make new Custodes, or we didn't have time to make new Custodes models before we made this change, whatever this change, wherever this change originated. Whether it was, at Amazon's behest, or whether they let the fucking intern into the, into the design studio or whatever. So this is our way of getting round not making models for the range because they just look the same as the men anyway, kind of thing.
Yeah. But it's a bit like you said, like when you get female bodybuilders, they kind of muscle through the CHEBS. They're like, I'm too busy getting ripped and lean. All my fatty booby tissue has kind of melted away, and now I don't have a massive bust unless I make myself have one.
As I've said,
So I can see where they're coming from.
We're not expecting them to be Lady Dimitrescu here. You know, we're not expecting sort of voluptuous, massive-titted woman.
I'll be back half hour once again. Like, I'm sorry.
More than anything else, they'll just get in the way.
They will get in the way. Also, a bit of a blade trap. You don't really want blades getting trapped in the centre of your chest.
It's perfect. Gets in between the tits, give it a twist, you've disarmed your foe. Fantastic.
Twist your tit.
No, just twist your body, and then like the tits act as sort of a
Pating.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, you know, they've done what they've done. At the end of the day, it is done. It is in the law, no matter what people say.
It is now, yeah.
But if you just want to have a Custodes order with no ladies in it, you can do that. I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, like her sex or gender, whatever term you want to use, I would assume that in the modern day those are no longer interchangeable, which is a bit weird to me. But
no idea, not a clue, mate. With how that's kind of termed these days, because when GW said like about the Custodes, they said, "Oh, now that we've confirmed that Custodes can be of any gender," and I was like, "Oh God."
that was very diplomatically put. But like, yeah, I mean, to be fair, like her gender makes absolutely no difference to the story or the or the animation or anything whatsoever. When she's armored up, you can't really tell apart from the voice. Doesn't act any different. But no, I thought the whole episode was pretty well done. Like from the Imperial side, I quite liked that. Like the Custodes turned up and they were kind of like, "Why the fuck isn't your captain here?" And the poor sergeant who got sent was just like, "Sorry, he's actually prosecuting a campaign to defend this world. Why didn't you go to see him?
Yeah,
he's kind of busy. And yeah, you're a representative of our boss, man. But come on, meet us halfway." Like,
and on top of that, he's like, "Are you here to reinforce us?"
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to help out at all? And they're just like, "No."
We could do some.
And as soon as they go, "No," they're just as soon as they go, "No," he's just like, "Well, you can make your own way to the captain." And I was like, that is one of the most subtle fuck yous I've ever seen in anything, especially in Warhammer. I was like, that was amazing. Nice one. Like he's not been too discourteous, but he's also been quite blunt and to the point. And he's just like, "Well, you can sort yourself out. If you're not helping us, you can fuck off and find your own way there. I'll catch you later."
Yeah, exactly.
We've got stuff to do. There's not many of us, and there's a lot of Tyranids. Bye.
Zephram's his name. He's like, "Yeah, we're actually fighting. We've sworn an oath to this planet." And then he's like, "You're just going to take the psychers and fuck off." So the Marines were quite belligerent towards her, and I'm kind of like, you know what? Most Marines have probably never seen a custode, so they're going to defer them some respect, given of their station, given that personal bodyguards to the Emperor, and the Emperor is the Emperor. Yeah, true.
So they're going to get some modicum of respect, but they're not going to bend over backwards for them if they're not going to meet them halfway, because they're both military arms that should show each other the equal respect. Like
the Space Marines are going to be aware that the Custodes have basically just been sitting around doing nothing, guarding the Emperor's throne for the last 10,000 years. So they're kind of like,
pretty much.
Yeah, we could have used you guys.
Quite
a few times.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the Custodes law. It's like, look, either keep it as like 300 or 1,000 or however many it originally was, and just have them stay put and not have them be an army because it's kind of a bit weird, or expand them out so that you can have an army of them on the tabletop. Make them fucking do something in the law. Like, it doesn't quite mesh up. It was the Sister of Silence was really well done.
Yeah, she was cool.
She was cool. She was also very capable of handling herself against a couple of Von Ryan's Leapers.
She does.
Was nice. They were nice to see.
I like seeing the aura in effect as well, even if it was a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that would vary from individual to individual. She might have just had a little bit of a shorty aura, but it might have been more intense.
A little bit. No size shaming here, Matt. No size shaming.
No, hey, everyone's different, and if it works, right. You find a way to make shit work.
But some of the animation was a bit shaky. Like this bit I've put up here, This
Yeah.
definitely did not look good.
Yeah, that was an odd bit. I'm assuming that was the bit that they kind of were like, you know what, we've run out of money, so we'll just fucking render that bit as much as we can before someone unplugs everything.
It's like
I
the
don't know how it
difference
works.
between a full rendered cutscene in Space Marine 2 and the ones that use the engine.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah.
You're like,
Actually,
whoa.
Space Marine, not Space Marine 2. I'm thinking of Dawn of War 2. That's actually a really good example because you had the intro for it, which was released before the game, where you had the Marines versus the Eldar,
Yeah.
and that was all really nicely rendered. And then that kind of ended with the Farseer getting ganked, and then the dude was like, "This planet is ours, witch," and she's like, "Actually, no, you fuck with
Oh,
it.
that's
It's
right. And they did that little bit
it's
afterwards,
theirs."
didn't they? They added the
Yeah,
scene on.
yeah, and then they added in a lictor versus like that sergeant, and the finish on that was like literally like night and day compared to the polish that was on the original animation and the
Yeah.
bit that they tacked on the end. Like the finish on it, like the production's different, and
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just like,
even if you
bleh.
look at these two, here's the Sister of Silence. It's like, that's
Yeah,
nice.
well, that's what I mean.
That
It's
looks
like
great.
same,
And then you look at
yeah,
that and you're like, oh.
yeah. That's exactly what it reminded me of. So it's kind of like clearly you paid more attention to some of it than others, but they paid the correct amount of attention to most of it. And then there was a few little bits here and there, but I'm not really going to fault it for that because it didn't detract too much.
The intern did that. The intern did that.
Yeah, clearly. You want to practice? Go ahead.
So you've got this this guy runs away, goes Super Saiyan. It's like, and
yeah, and then he gets shut down.
Yeah.
Nope. Like the sister. I liked the way that she didn't get any authority over the Marines as is appropriate.
Oh,
like
the Sister of Silence.
Yeah, all the
No,
authority was kind of
viewed as a sort of a more of a kind of weird
sister organisation.
Weird
Yeah,
mutant
no pun
is
intended.
acceptable, I guess.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, that's good because then it's not a case of girl bosses just talking down to the Marines the whole time. It's just like no. The Custode does that, but she makes it clear that she does hold the Marines in a little bit of contempt.
Yes.
Because of the heresy. I'm assuming that she lived through some of that, maybe.
I'm guessing so because they've always been there.
It seemed a little bit personal, which is kind of like the galaxy burned because of Space Marine pride.
Yeah.
A bit like from your perspective, that's probably true. From the Marines' perspective, I suspect it will be somewhat different. But then that's how perspectives work. You don't have to be on the same side and both have the same viewpoint. As long as you all pull in the same direction, that's the main thing.
Well, it's nice to see the Sister of Silence fight, and I kind of wish they'd done a bit more with those rather than giving us female Custodes.
Yeah, that was cool. It was very cool to see Von Ryan's Leapers. I was very happy to see them, given that they're one of the newer models that are actually really good. I think they originally got mentioned somewhere, like in the 3rd or 4th edition codex, as part of the genus. That's it. As part of a genus, they're just mentioned in one of the little trees in like a little breakout box on one of the pages. So it's nice that they got put into plastic.
It was kind of shocking how effective combat shotguns are on them as well.
Well, they're not massively armored. I mean, even lictors aren't massively armored, but but it was really good to see the lictors at the end. I think there's a pair of them.
Yeah, there's 2 lictors, and the Custodes just like nope.
Yeah, and I've played Tyranids for a long time, but it's one of those things where you don't always grasp the scale of how big things are supposed to be on the tabletop. I think the first time I noticed that was there was a piece of was it CGI artwork? I can't remember if it was CGI or just traditional, but there was a dreadnought and a marine engaging some Eldar, and the dreadnought is fucking massive. I was like, how is that dreadnought 3 times the size of an Eldar, which I'm assuming is about 7 foot tall anyway?
Yeah. And
then I realised, no, they are fucking massive. They're literally like the height of like a 1-story house, just stomping about, wrecking everything. And Tyranids are the same. Like you see, you don't really notice it so much in Space Marine 2 because you're a Primaris and you also tower over all the normal humans, the baseline humans, as it were. But then when you see warriors and lictors in that, lictors especially because they tend to rear up a bit more to their full height, and you're kind of like, these things are like 15 foot tall. They're fucking massive. I'm like, how is something so big so damn sneaky? You could have designed it a bit smaller, hive mind. What are you doing? And then they're like, yeah, hold my biomass. Here's a Von Ryan's Leaper. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you did make them smaller. Yeah. Bastards.
I mean, like, scale's a bit of a weird one, really. It's like, I remember when Tyranid Warriors first came out in 3rd edition, it was like, oh, wow, these guys, like, like, The new plastic ones, I mean, because obviously Tyranid Warriors have always been around, but I mean the
Now,
plastic ones. It's like, yeah,
now,
these,
which plastic ones are we talking about here? Are we talking about the spindly, waspy Advanced Space Crusade ones, or are we
no,
talking about the ones that look like modern Tyranid
the
Warriors?
ones that look like modern Tyranid Warriors. So
Okay, carry
third
on.
edition, they
Gotcha.
came out, and the they were big, they were big, but
Yeah,
where they've not been rescaled and everything else has,
they're looking a little bit puny.
they're looking a bit puny now. Like whereas
Yeah,
to the point where a Primaris is, as you say, the same size. So in Space Marine
yeah.
2,
It shouldn't be at all.
they're not really that much of a deal, really. It's like a one-on-one. The Primaris takes them out, no problem at all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
it's Titus, so you kind of like he's capable. You know, he was a captain, got busted down to a lieutenant.
oh,
He's still been
we'll
around a
get on
long
to
time.
that. The Space Marine 2 thing gets a little bit ridiculous at times, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But yeah, the Tyranids in this, I think they're well done.
Oh yeah,
I didn't think Termagants were part of a Vanguard swarm, but there you
they're
go.
not.
Clearly,
There's none in it. They're Fod Ride Sleepers.
no. There's Termagants. Hang on.
What?
You clearly missed them.
I think I clearly
Look at the
did.
screen.
Oh yeah,
That is a Termagant with a flesh borer.
it's got a flesh borer.
Yep, and I didn't think they were part of Vanguard swarms. So considering that the Tyranid fleet is like meant to be ages away at this point, because obviously it's just a psychic scream that's causing problems, shadow in the warp and everything like that. I didn't think Termagants should be there, but again, it's GW's law. If they want to put Termagants in the Vanguard swarm, they can do.
Might have just been snooping, having a snoop.
I never thought they were. So yeah, the Custodes, combat shotguns, boom, boom, poo, poo. They
Oh yeah, the Arbites as well. Yeah, I think they did quite well.
yeah, not Custodes, Arbites, yeah.
Or Arbites, as they're probably called, but I always thought that Arbites and Custodes sounds a bit daft, so I'm just like, they're Custodes and Arbites, and I'm just saying it like that. I don't care if anyone disagrees.
Arbites?
Still sounds weird.
Because you wouldn't say Arbites,
I do.
because you don't say arbitration, you say arbitration. And that's obviously what it's based off of. The etymology
Yes.
of the word is
Yeah.
from arbitrate. So I would say arbites.
Austerities.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, she finishes off the lictor, no problem at all, and then she's like, secure the area, and then fucking girl boss number 2 has a go at the Arbites and says, "You let one of them die." It's like, he fucking run away.
I think she has to, because she's being watched by one of the Emperor's bodyguards. She's kind of like, shit, I've got to pull rank here and pull him up.
And then the Space Marines turn up, and this is the problem that I had with the episode on a whole. Is I really would have liked to have cut to the Space Marines fighting, to show what's being sacrificed while they recover this Tithe. Because this video doesn't demonstrate that there's any real cost. Like, a couple of Arbites died. And it's like, well, okay, cool, no worries. Psychers are important. Whereas if they'd show some Space Marines on the other side of the planet getting all cut down and stuff, cutting from one to the other to try and put the two in some kind of like dichotomy where you see the Space Marines slowly, getting worn down. But this just makes it seem like there's not that much of a cost. Obviously, the cost is technically the planet, because she's about to tell them to take off an exterminatus, the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, some of the animation in this is really nice. I really like because he's like, oh, leave us here to fight, piss off. You've got what you came for. She's like, no, I'm gonna fucking make you do what I say. And this is really, this looks so good, dude.
Yeah, it does.
So nicely done.
So I think they put more of the money into that bit, not the running away bit.
So yeah, basically, and that's cool. I like that. I mean, her little dig at the end, the galaxy wants burned because of Space Marine Pride. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Maybe you were there for the heresy, but you've not really done anything to fucking help in the last 10,000 years, have you?
No.
So I was kind of hoping for just 1 second. I thought he might fucking hit her or something. I'd be like, well, because it's it's a besmirchment on his honour, isn't it? And like,
I think it's just Marines in general. She's just like, you guys fucked up, and now we're in a mess. And he's kind of like, I wasn't born then.
And then the psychics are like, oh, it doesn't really feel like we're being rescued. So no, you're not being rescued. You're about to have a very, very bad time.
Congratulations, you are being rescued.
Yeah, yeah. Do not resist. Yeah, so I thought it was okay. I thought I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I thought there was some good shit there.
for me, that's for Tithes. That's 2 for 2. Both good eps
Yeah, I didn't think it was
overall.
as good as the first one. I really like the banter, for want of a better
Back
word,
and forth. Yeah.
between the Space Marines. I felt that the first one kind of demonstrated the sacrifice a bit more
Yes.
that is required to do these things to get the gene seed and stuff like that. As I say, it just didn't really seem like there was much. It doesn't make a great deal of sense to go down there and grab a load of psychers that may well be tainted by Tyranid influence and the Shadow in the Warp anyway, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you
I'm
know,
not sure it works that way. Like, because where I mean, I don't know if they've changed the law because there seems to be a theme of the evening. But like, I think my first White Dwarf. Don't make me go and get it off the shelf. It's just over there, and it's probably older than some of the people that are listening to this, or maybe not. Actually, I don't know. I think it was 131, and it's like the Advanced Space Crusade issue.
the one with the
Uh,
one with the Advanced Space Crusade in it.
yeah, that's the one with the weird old scouts and the spindly Tyranid warriors. And there's a short story in that about Inquisitor Cryptman and the hive mind sending an assassin form after him, and it's a weird shape changing one, and it kind of kills people and takes on some aspects of their biology and whatnot.
Okay.
And it ends up looking like a weird little stumpy thing with a big clawed hand coming out the top with a face, and it kind of goes for Cryptman. And that was always an impressive one because it kind of showed that one, it was my first introduction to Tyranids in general, and I was like, more of this. And two, it emphasized the fact that the Shadow in the Warp is literally that. It just becomes the Warp, and it completely cuts off psychers to any source of power and things like that. So when people kind of go like, "Oh no, there's Tyranids in their mind," I'm like, it doesn't work that way. It literally like just severs their ties to the Warp and fucks them up because they're like, something that I've known for a long time has now gone, and I don't know what's going on with my head. And so I think it was more kind of like a case of that. And they're like, you know what, we need to get the Emperor's breakfast from this planet.
Well,
Deliver off
what is it?
Mook Psychers.
The Krypton's Gambit has been shown not to work anyway, starving the Tyranids and stuff like that. Because that's the idea, is to starve the Tyranids, make them look for better breeding grounds. So
Yeah, Krypton
leaving a
was the one
ring
that
of
came
dead
up with
worlds
that.
won't help because the Tyranids
Yeah.
are going after the Astronomicon anyway.
Apparently so, but we're not sure if the Imperiums realise that. I mean, you'd have thought so if they're all kind of going in a straight line towards Terra.
Yeah, I mean, there's sort of like a certain amount of causality there, isn't there? It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
they must be going this way for a reason. Yeah, I thought it was an okay episode. We've got one more to go.
It's only 3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said there was only 3 at the start.
Ah.
So I think the next one's the last one, which seems to be an Aeronautica Imperialis based one, which is fucking brilliant after you got rid of Aeronautica Imperialis. Good move there, GW. Well done.
Yep.
Are there enough people that I don't think these animations even make enough of a splash? Because obviously the last video that I did on that animation is by far our biggest video. So yeah, over 11,000 views now. And I don't know how much of that is to do with the animation as to do with the subject. I think more of it is to do with the subject and the fact that it is from Stodes. Because I stopped replying to the comments because the comments went absolutely mental.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I did as well.
So much of it on there, kind of thing.
Yeah, I was like, I've said my bit at the beginning. I don't need to say anything else. Everyone else can just carry on.
Yeah, and it was just going on and on and on and on, and it's not a bad thing. Everybody at the end of the day has their everybody has their opinion and their right to state that opinion. I firmly believe in freedom of speech, as long as nobody's getting abusive. There's some people who are very, very, very anti Custodes, female Custodes in any way, any kind of format at all. There's you and me that are kind of over 40k and we're just kind of fucked off that it's pissed off with the heresy. It's been inserted into the heresy as well. I mean, I will say that I don't think female Custodes makes a lot of sense, if I'm being honest. I don't know why you would take the physically weaker of the two sexes and make them into a warrior, but you could also argue at the same time that in this sci-fi environment of 40,000, women are no longer weaker than men. You can do that. So it's up to GW to rewrite whatever see fit at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. Like, women in general are mentally stronger than dudes. like no doubt.
Yeah.
All the shit they have to put up with, usually from dudes. But yeah. I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other to me. It's like you never had female custodes before now, regardless of what some community guy decides to pipe up about.
Yes, yeah.
But then on the flip side, it makes no difference to anything at all, really, because they look the same in armor. The models ain't changed, so carry on. I guess like there's nothing in the law that's kind of says they're specifically cannot be women like there are with men.
Yes.
It just so happens that the law for custodes just says they are men, not that they can't be women as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, exactly. It's not quite the same as
So,
Space Marines, is
no,
it?
so it's kind of it's a bit like file and folder level security on a PC. Like you've got implied permissions, explicitly denied, and explicitly stated. So they're kind of three different things, but sometimes the outcome is the same. It's just a different way of making stuff happen. So like with Marines, it's specifically like explicitly stated that they can't be female, and like bosh, it's done, and there you go. And it's always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
With custodes, it's never said explicitly that they can't be female. They've just never been mentioned.
Yes.
They've always been male. So the door is open for that kind of thing, and they went through it. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but you can't say that they've always been there because they haven't.
Yes.
Like, just justify it in the law somehow. Put it, like you say, put in some fucking effort, and then say this has happened. We've had to do this. There you go. And it's like, okay, cool. We'll buy that. Whether we agree with it or not, at least you've put in some effort there and you've justified it. You've not just tried to gaslight everyone and say no, you're wrong because, and then you've got nothing to back it up with whatsoever because it's a fib.
Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? It's not had the groundwork laid for it. I don't respect. I think that's the easy way to put it. I don't respect the change. There's been no work done. I don't respect it. And as I say, I don't think they're a particularly good idea to have them in the universe. If I'm being honest, I don't think they add anything. I think the Sisters of Silence were way more interesting, and you could have done loads more with those. And
yeah, definitely.
God knows we could have had some variation in that range, and we could have had, something really, really cool added. And something that would actually have given us models, as opposed to what you've done here, where you've just gone, you've just basically just turned around and goes, okay, yeah, all you people who've always wanted these female custodes, you've always had them. How you never knew, you always had them. Still had
How
them.
could you not realise? And you're like, because they all look the same. It's like, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, but at the end of the day, it's done now. Whether it's done on Amazon's behest, whether it was GW making a change, to placate a certain, because maybe they didn't feel that there was enough female representation. I don't know. It's going to make some people happy. It's going to make a lot more people very unhappy, and it's going to make a load of people in the middle just go like, meh. I think it is just where I come from it really. I didn't particularly like the way that she looked in the show. I kind of felt that was more of a kind of a transhuman kind of mutated gene enhanced look rather than what I imagine Custodes to be. I imagine Custodes to basically be the pinnacle of the human form. It's kind of what I imagine a Custodes to look like. Not quite like that. That looked a bit. There was basically nothing feminine about the form, other than the face, and even that's kind of debatable because I say there's quite a lot of Brienne of Tar going on there. Not that Gwendolyn Christie is not an attractive woman.
No, I mean she is when she wants to be.
Oh God,
obviously not so much in Game of Thrones. Like,
no, when she gets dressed
she's not
up
supposed
and
to be.
No. I said the whole idea of Brienne, isn't it, is that she's ugly. It's the whole dynamic around what she's built, and that she wants to be a knight. So
good character. She was much better in Game of Thrones than she was in the new Star Wars films, where she just traipses around in mirror armor for a whole film and then gets stuffed down a rubbish chute.
No, I do not want to.
What a waste of a character. Yeah, let's not go there.
No, I do not want to get into the crimes of the new Star Wars films. I really don't.
Please no.
Be here all day, and it's the wrong YouTube channel.
I've redacted my statement.
Indeed, yeah. So I mean, that was the new animation, and along with it, female custodes
The drama.
Bustodes no more. Bustodes no more because there is no bust to talk about. So it's
Still a good
Femstodes
name.
or Custode cheese maybe. We can get one or the other.
Custode cheese. It sounds like cheese.
Oh no from Marshall Frey. But on top of that, and something that has seemed to lessen the blow a little bit, and got people talking positively about GW, very much so, and probably sold a lot of toys. Space Marine 2.
Oh yes.
Very enjoyable. Very
Yes.
enjoyable. As far as a representation of the 40k universe, I think it's the best I've seen.
Yes, they nailed so much.
Yeah.
It was so right in so many ways. The weight of everything feels good. Like a Marine stomps around like you'd expect a Marine to. The weapons have decent weight to them. Like all the ranged weapons feel satisfying to use for the most part.
Yeah, I would say that there's too many ranged weapons. Some of them I just honestly couldn't fucking see the point in. Which
I mean, that kind of sums up
the GW thing of Primaris, where it's just like
sums up their range overall.
Yeah,
really.
exactly. It's just full of bloat. I used pretty much one weapon throughout the entire game.
Yeah, what standard bolt rifle?
No, the one with the grenade launcher.
Oh yeah, nice.
Grenades are
standard bolt rifle with a grenade launcher on it.
Yeah, grenades are bot in this game because
everyone loves an M203.
When you're facing hordes, it's like
yeah,
great.
M16 with an M203 underslung. Well, thank you very much.
Exactly.
I'm going to be Dutch from Predator.
but
no, it was great. But like, yeah, I mean, I think the root cause of that, as you said, was the whole Primaris thing, where the different units, of course, have to have their own bolt weapons, so they feel all special and different. And then in the campaign, all of those have to be made available to you. So you're kind of like, well, half of these will do the same thing.
Yes.
So what's the fucking point?
Yeah, I mean, they're all fun to use in various ways. I didn't have any problems with the with the using of any of them, or being like, oh, you know, I. But at the same time, I didn't feel like, oh, this part of the game, I need to use this one.
A specific weapon, yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
And on top of that, I mean, I couldn't see the point of having the armory chamber either, because you go into the armory chamber, choose your weapon, and then as soon as you start the level, there's a fucking little mini drop pod there with all the weapons in it anyway.
True, but I think that carries over. I think that carries over into ops. So because that's your main arming chamber for ops, where you choose your class and your loadout. So they just kind of went, let's introduce this for the people. It's like, okay, fine.
But yeah, no, I mean, in general, a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
lots of stuff on screen at the same time. So
that engine's awesome. I don't know how they managed it.
No, I don't. Absolutely ridiculous. So many Tyranids.
Nice work, Saber. Did a great job.
They did do a great job. There's a few minor things here and there. One was the clipping, where you could just walk through your proper Space Marines in certain parts of the game. I was like, yeah,
believe me, I was very happy for that. Imagine how much of a pain in the arse it'd be if their AI fucked up and you said your two dudes standing shoulder to shoulder in a corridor, and you're like, well, now I can't do anything because I can't walk through.
That, I've also got the fact that none of my squad knows how to open a fucking door apart from me, apparently.
I think that's just respect. They're like, you're the boss, you open the door.
I am Titus, opener of doors. Nobody else. There was a scene where I got onto the fucking elevator with about 15 other Marines. It's towards the end of the game.
That's it, yeah, in the briefing.
No.
That's because you're the lieutenant. They're like, oh, he's got rank. You get to press the big button. It's like, thanks for that.
Why I've got subordinates to open the doors for me, damn it.
After you, brother Marine. It's like, no. Lieutenant, I couldn't possibly.
Very pleasing. Lots of assets provided to Saber by GW. So you get to see all sorts of cool things. I think the only thing I didn't see that I would have liked to have seen would have been a Castoferum Dreadnought. The original Dreadnought.
Oh, the old school.
Yeah, because you get to see Predators and you get to see stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they had a Redemptor, which is obviously, they're like, oh, bigger and showier, so they just went with that instead.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But
I don't like the Redemptor all that much. It did look cool. I didn't like it as much. And the only other thing I would say that I didn't like about Space Marine 2, and it's a very mild spoiler, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows, is that it was more or less just the same bloody story. Start off fighting one monster or one alien race. Find out that it's all to do with chaos, of course, and then end up fighting that one instead, and it's just like
again.
Yeah, it was a little bit. There was even bits of the game where it was like the bit where you're sort of on the jump packs towards the end and ascending the broken bits of cathedral and stuff. I was like, this, I'm sure this happened in the first game as well. But
I honestly can't remember. It's been so long since I played the original one.
I've actually downloaded it again. I'm going to go back and play it again because I love that game.
So a lot of people probably did that, to be fair.
I think I have to say, I think in total, I think I preferred the combat in the first game.
That's what Cole said.
Yeah.
I might revisit it and check. I'm not sure.
I
I think this one's more complex with
yeah,
with dodging and blocking and
yeah.
synching and
I
whatnot.
think the problem is there's so much going on sometimes that it's hard to see the signals and the prompts. And more than once, I would have a Hormigan jump on me that I couldn't see on screen. So I couldn't see the fucking the parry prompt.
Oh, you mean he got you from behind?
Yeah.
Ah,
So I'd be like,
that sounds like a you problem.
so
I
he
think.
still jumps me on the chest, hits
Oh.
hits the chest, but
Yeah.
he's come from off screen, so I've not seen him. And also,
what
when
you
you
get.
activate your I am golden ability, it's very hard to tell between those prompts if they're blue or if they're red.
Oh, the range.
So it's like, am I parrying this or am I dodging it? I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Just dodge it to be on the safe side.
yeah. So I think I would describe the combat as haphazard at times, and that's just due to the nature of the hordes that fight you. Certainly later when you get to the Chaos Marines and stuff, I found that a lot easier. In fact, I found that those guys really easy. Apart from maybe when you get like Terminators who put you in almost like a stun lock.
Yeah, they can do. Yeah, they're bastards.
And you lose like 3/4 of your health in one hit, and it's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
But so I think it'd be very difficult on higher difficulties. I played on normal. And it was okay. I died a few times, not loads.
Yep. Yeah, I tried it on veteran yesterday, and I was like, "There's a definite difference between this and when I finished the campaign."
There's
before.
a spike, is there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of ops and stuff to keep us going in the meantime, so I'm not not overly worried. But I do remember beating the original Space Marine on all difficulties.
Oh, nice.
And I don't think that I would do that on this. I think it would be
No,
because there's so many times when you're fighting loads of horde, and then there's a fucking Tyranid warrior with a venom cannon sniping you.
Yeah, those bastards.
And you're just like, and one of the worst things that would happen would be like, so you've got all the hordes attack you, and then you've got zone phobes turn up, and obviously zone phobes have to be taken out as a priority.
Yeah.
And as you're trying to take care of those, you're getting absolutely butt fucked by everything else, and probably a Ravener or something.
Love Raveners.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I liked it. I don't know, despite the fact that visually it's better, and I think experience and dramatic and kind of general capturing of the universe, I think it's a lot better than the first one. I don't think the gameplay is necessarily better than the first one. But that said, I really enjoyed it, and as I say, I'm right at the end now. I'm pretty sure I've just got like the last bit to go.
Yeah.
And Ops is a lot of fun.
Ops is great. Whoever came up with the idea of having you go on the side missions that other Marine squads the campaign that allow you to do the main missions was absolute genius. It's such a simple thing.
So presumably one of them at some point is the Hive Tyrant.
Yes,
mild
the second
spoiler,
one.
But you don't get to fight the Hive Tyrant in the main game.
No, it's in the second Ops mission.
Oh, awesome. That's going to be good then.
It's tough, considering you fight it and it's already got a bit of metal straight through it. So it's definitely not 100% Hive Tyrant.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Which should probably be murder for everyone.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. I really like that one, the way it was done. It was great.
Cool. We'll definitely do some more of those then, because I like the Ops. I haven't done any PvP yet.
I haven't either, but I don't really do a lot of PvP these days.
No, I did in the first one. I played a lot in the first one, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest. It was a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I will this time or not. It depends. I might dip a toe in and see what it is, and if it's a bunch of 12-year-olds all screaming, then dip out again very fucking quickly.
Well, I don't think you'll have the voice comms, so you just kill them anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I've no idea. So I played a fair bit of the first one. I was not bad at it as well. Got quite because once you get used to the maps and stuff, it's
Yeah.
what 90% of these games is just learning the maps. But yeah, I you should see how the combat carries across to a PvP environment. Whether you can do the parrying and stuff like that, or whether they've just cut all that just in favour of making it just as a generic third person.
So I think it's still in.
I've not seen enough of it to say, to be honest, but certainly, yeah, no, it's a good time. It's a very good representation of
Yeah.
the 40k universe. I thought it was, there was no girl bossing in it. Like some of for example, in that some of the ladies obviously are officers and stuff like that, but it never
Yeah.
got any. It never got obnoxious at any stage.
No.
I don't want to sound like, oh, I don't want any girls in charge or anything like that. I don't. But just for me, one of the quantifiers as to whether something is woke is not representation, because representation is just natural.
Yeah.
One of the quantifiers to me as to whether something is woke is are they diminishing the other roles? So are men being diminished in favour of, is it true balance? Is it true representation? Or are you just fucking pissing all over the stupid masculine men in the aim of establishing your superior woman, feminine kind of viewpoint? That's my kind of general kind of barometer as to whether something's woke, and you can see it happening all over the place. Certainly in modern movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff. Lord of the Rings is terrible for it. Isildur is not Lord of the Rings. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word because it's not Lord of the Rings. Rings of Power.
Please no. Don't associate the two of those.
Indeed, yes. I apologise, Professor Tolkien. Rings of Power. Isildur is just such a fucking wet fucking blanket of a character. Do you know what I mean? And it's been done on purpose because they looked at him, in the Lord of the Rings and like, oh no, he's far too manly, he's far too masculine. So everybody in this is just it's just a war of masculinity, and that's one of the other things I love about Space Marine, the game.
There's none of that. Like you get your female Cadian officers.
Yeah, you do, but they don't.
Yeah.
There's no. It is.
They always defer to you properly, and they don't talk down to their troops any differently than a male officer would.
Exactly that. And Space Marine 2 is as masculine as fuck. Because let's face it, Space Marines are the archetype of masculinity.
Pretty much, yeah.
They always
lots of rage and violence.
And that was
some tactical acumen.
So cool with the again, a minor spoiler, but when your one of your squad mates goes a bit fucking psycho, gets a little bit black ragey and kind of like very violent and aggressive, and it's the black dude, and like he is just as cool as fuck while he's doing it and wrecking all these dudes. But another untold.
I was waiting for him to get taken out, 100%.
I kind of thought one of them might do, but again, we'll try and leave off the spoilers. But again, it retreads some of the old ground that you got in the first one with Leandros and something like that. It did just about differently enough for me to give the game a kind of a pass.
Yeah.
I was like, you've kind of done the same thing, but you've made a couple of little changes, so I'll let you off. But yeah, the fact that the guy that goes off and does all this stuff and becomes really aggressive and violent and everything is the black dude, I was like, yes! Because you can't have that in Hollywood anymore. No. In Hollywood now, you have to make them, rather than making the black dude like the really cool fucking macho dude who kills everybody, they have to sort of neuter him and have him not dangerous in the slightest.
Be the funny one instead.
Exactly, be the comic relief or be the gay nerd or whatever. So again, I was just like, oh man, that's so cool. And it was so cool to watch him go off and go, fucking and Titus is like, you come back and he's like, I will not fucking
Yeah, and I thought the aftermath of that was handled well as well.
Yes, it was good. I mean, don't get me wrong, from a lore perspective, an Ultramarine should not be doing that. The Codex does not support this action kind of thing.
Not so much.
But Titus did give him a dressing down and everything. So I thought because the thing is, characters are Space Marines are as characters quite hard to write, and this is a problem I've had in the past because they are kind of they're
a bit of an emotional flatline.
Yes,
and they're
exactly.
They're literally just like military tools for getting shit done.
Precisely that. Yeah,
people that are in the way.
It's a warrior archetype. They're like a warrior monk. Neither of those things were particularly exciting to start off with. So personality-wise, it's very hard to get anything out of them. because they are very, for the emperor, blah 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 blah. Show me the enemy. They're living weapons. They're not. They're not
very
meant
much
to be.
very much set.
They're not meant to be emotional in any way, which is another reason why they are the masculine archetype, because dudes don't really do emotions or feelings or talking about anything like that most of the time. Traditionally, I mean, most of the time.
My father certainly didn't.
Exactly. Yeah, we've all got like people we can talk to and stuff like that, but generally that's not what being a bloke is. It is, from my experience, very much what a woman is. That they'll talk to and bitch and moan and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine, girls. You do you. We love you for it. But it's not what guys do. So from that perspective, they're quite hard to write, and I thought they did a good job. I did do. I thought quite a good job of the suspicion and kind of the kind of who is this guy? Where's he been for the last 200 years? Kind of thing. Like the bit where he goes, "Oh, our new lieutenant's got service studs. He definitely didn't start off as a primaris." Do you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got like 4, hasn't he? And they're like, oh, he's at least 200 years old. And I was like, they must be 50 year studs each, because I think it differs from chapter to chapter as to what the studs represent.
There was one thing that did, from a law perspective, I was like, that was a bit weird to let through. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought they might have a pass. Is when Chiron says, I want to pay the traitors back. I was a boy on Calf when the word bearer was attacked.
I mentioned that to Carl earlier in the week, didn't I? And he was like, yeah, I was a boy on Calf when the word bearer was attacked. And I was like, what, you 10,000 years old?
But the primaris were developed
allegedly
at the time of the heresy. So maybe he was taken from Calf as a boy.
What, and frozen?
Yeah.
I mean, it never really was quite fleshed out.
No, it wasn't. It was another. That was another stupid part of the fucking primaris, wasn't it? It was
let's not speak of it.
They started making it during the heresy when Guilliman went away, because they needed Guilliman to have commanded it, but Guilliman's been asleep for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh well, I guess he did it 10,000 years ago, and it's like, oh.
Yep. So you didn't put hundreds of thousands of primaris stasis as well, and no one found them for 10,000 years. But no, I mean, as Cole knows his law, and as he pointed out, there's a slim pass in that the Iron Warriors attacked Calf far more recently than the Heresy, and they were led by I think it was a demon prince who used to be a word bearer.
Oh, so that's tenuous. But
it's a very flimsy reach.
It is fair to say that word bearers may well have attacked Calf again since.
Yeah, possibly. It's all over the place.
It wasn't an egregious thing to me. It wasn't like a massive, oh my god, no, you've completely broken canon kind of thing.
No, it was just a bit of an anime eye twitch on my part.
Exactly. Like, there was a slight raising of the eyebrow, and I was like,
and then you just carry on. Yeah. I think Clive Standen did a great job. Like in the absence of Mark Strong. I don't know why they didn't get Mark Strong back to voice Titus again.
Too expensive.
Too expensive? Too busy? Don't know.
I'm going to go with too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, his profile definitely increased.
Yeah, Space Marine was a while ago now. So I think
13 years?
I think
it was like, that was 2011, if it was.
Holy shit.
Can be.
Spot on. 5th of September 2011.
Well, there you go.
Jesus Christ, that's wow. Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to think about it. It makes sense because it's got to be pre-primaris.
Yeah, don't even think about how long ago it was. So Rollo from Vikings did a good job as Titus.
He did, yeah.
Oh, did a very good job.
Yeah, Mark's going to be a lot more expensive now, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, but I like Clive Standen anyway. I mean, apart from Vikings, I saw him in another series called Taken, I think it was, where he plays like an ex-CIA agent who
sounds awfully like the Liam Neeson movies.
People. I'm not sure if it's related to them or not. I really can't remember. But I remember watching some of that and quite enjoying it because he does a good job. So yeah, I was very pleased with that. I thought the voice work overall was
the acting in general was very high. Very good. Very good. I didn't. The only thing I didn't.
The Scottish captain took a bit of getting used to, but then I was kind of like, well, it's McCrag, and that's a Muck. So
he was ginger. I'm gonna let it pass. He was ginger.
He was ginger, bearded, and grumpy.
Exactly.
But yeah, it could well be Scottish. Yeah.
Perfect Scotsman. But
we do like him.
But how cool is the cut scene where again, I won't give too many spoilers, but the cut scene with Calgar in it.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yep. just when needed.
Yeah, just he just drops down. He's just like fucking.
That's cool. I've never really given him much credit as a character because I
No.
don't do Ultramarines, so I'm just kind of like, you're just a dude with big hands, lol.
Yeah.
But no, in that I was like, dude, nice.
Yeah.
Does a very, very good job. Yeah, I think the second part of the game of the Thousand Suns, I think my only gripe that I really noticed was that I would have liked some different execution animations for dealing with them because there's only so many times
Yeah,
I
the
can see.
Terminator one in particular was very, very repetitive.
For Samey, yeah, there's only so many times that I can see someone a Thousand Sun get decked and then their helmet ripped off.
Yeah,
So that all their dust escapes.
yeah, that's
And I'm
just
like,
kind
yeah,
of a computer game thing, though, isn't it? I mean, I was getting
yeah.
fed up with every single time I picked up a bloody weapon.
Yeah, you were
And he'd be
saying
like,
a gift from the forge.
a gift from the forge.
I didn't notice that. I noticed it was an occasional thing. I didn't get it every time, I'm sure.
Shut up. This will
Well,
serve me well. Yes, just like the last
was
fucking
cool.
gun we picked up, Titus. Shut up.
Yeah, I was quite relieved that I didn't run into any gene stealers.
No.
There's gene
Oh,
stealers
God,
in it,
yeah,
and I'm kind of like that would have been horrific. No, it was good. Like there's Hormagaunts, Termagants. The Rippers were like, have you put
the
are
Rippers
these
were on
Rippers-
speed. It was
They
like
were,
somebody had
yeah.
turned the fucking the speed
like, Rippers-
animation up there, like little fleas going all over the place.
Yeah, I'm like 100% Rippers. I'm sure should not be quite this fast. I don't know what you've done to them. But they were cool in their own way. Like it was a good mechanic. Oh no, now I need a flamer.
Yeah,
like,
just that thing to keep away
not a
with the
fire
flamers,
blaster.
yeah.
It's a shit name, right? It's not a fire blaster. It's a shit name. It's just a flamer.
It would have been nice to have Biovores, I think, but again, because they were
Yeah.
redeveloped, you would have had the old ones, and they wouldn't have looked as good anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there was a lot of spores about, and it would have been cool to see the Biovores that launched them.
Yeah,
Maybe take them
definitely.
out on a mission. As I say, there's not a great deal of variety in the game. The game is as much as 70%, I would say, atmosphere and the feel and the universe of Warhammer and how fucking cool it is stomping around being a space marine wrecking shit, as opposed to genius gameplay. It's not groundbreaking in any way apart from the engine, which is doing the
But it is
amazing
great.
stuff. But it's a
great
lot
fun.
of fun. It is a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Tyranid Warriors as well. I was like, I think pretty much all of their armaments are represented. You've got like dual bone
Yeah,
swords.
dual bone swords.
You've got
didn't see
alphas.
Scything claws. Didn't see all Scything claws, but that was it.
No, I don't think you get those anymore for warriors. They're always ranged. They're either ranged or they've got talons and claws.
Oh yeah, you might be right. Actually, yeah, true. But yeah, no, they're all fine. I mean,
Yeah,
as I say,
there was dual bone swords. There was lash rip and bone sword, and I think those were mostly on the alphas. I like the way they snuck in the Tyranid alphas, or was it primes? I can't remember now.
but,
I liked the way that they mentioned that they only had 3 Thunderhawks left
yes.
on their whole battle barge, and I was like, oh. And then partway through the campaign, one of them has a very bad day, and I was like, oh mate, now you're down to 2.5.
Yeah, it does have a very bad day.
And then just 2.
Yeah, no, I thought it all worked great. I really did. I didn't have any moment during the game where I was just like, oh, fuck off. Yeah, there was none of that. There was a couple of eye-raising moments. I was like,
It was all very solid, very solid. I'm eyeballing the first year plan as well at the moment. So season 1 is September.
Okay.
So this month we should see ultra wide monitor support for our brothers with too much money.
Yep.
Private PVE lobbies, so you won't have randomites joining you whenever you want to do ops and stuff. An aspiring arena in your battle barge, if you want to faff around with your mates, I assume.
Cool.
Or not sure how that's going to pan out. And for season, what I did like about this was all the proper meat of the game is all going to be free updates.
Yes, very impressed.
All the cosmetics
very
is season
impressed.
pass. So so for this month, the season pass, it's going to be like the Ultramarines cosmetic pack. So you get lots of fancy nonsense for that. Then it says season 2 brings us up to the end of 2024. So I suspect that's probably going to be October and December. November and December, because sometimes my calendar works.
Yeah.
And that's going to be new PvE missions. There's a lethal difficulty to be introduced. A Neo Volkite pistol option, which will be interesting. And it just says plus new enemy. So I don't know if that's going to be new enemy models or I'm assuming it's a little bit of a too much of an ask to have a whole enemy
Yeah, I
race
can't see them
put
putting the
in.
whole other race that we saw
Although,
in
yeah,
it.
the other race that we did catch glimpses of, I would very much love to see in an expansion.
That'd be
And that'd be
amazing.
great.
I'm
Yeah,
looking at that and seeing lethal difficulty and going, fuck no.
yeah, exactly. And the cosmetic for season 2 is Dark Angels,
Yes, which
so
will
I'm
make you
very
very
happy with
happy.
that. Champion pack, cosmetic pack, and weapon skins. And then for 2025, season 3 is new PvE missions, new PvP stuff, new PvP arenas. Again, new enemy, so don't know if that's just new models or what. And then PvE prestige ranks and the battle barge expansion. And then it just kind of says one chapter will receive a bunch of stuff for cosmetics, and another chapter will receive less. And then season 4, which I'm assuming will be the latter half of 2025, is like a horde mode that they're going to put
Yes,
in.
really look forward to that.
Yeah, new enemies, new weapons, and then just more cosmetics. So obviously they're a bit sketchy on the details for stuff that's a year away because they can be.
Yes, fair enough.
But
But
no,
what that is, GW is that is a
it's a proper
roadmap.
roadmap.
And yes, yeah, very, very cool that all the gaming part of it is all a free update, you know.
Yeah, very good.
And
Mind you, they've the game in its first week has shifted 2 million units already.
nice. Deserves
So
it. This
yeah,
is
so
this
I think they're
is
doing fine.
the this is the advert that GW needs. This is the advert that GW needs. You've got your Amazon show maybe happening, but I don't really think that's necessary. I certainly don't think it needs to be live action. I think you could do something with animation just fine. You watch this game, like if you were to watch like a playthrough of all the cutscenes and everything, this is a fine story to watch and to expose
Yeah,
yourself into the GW 140,000 universe. It really is. Playing it's better, much better. But this is what this is what I want when I'm doing this. So this is the 140,000 universe that I want. This is what we've lost. This is what we don't have anymore so much, in my opinion, because obviously this has been in development for a long time. And
yeah,
yeah, if this is the last one we get, then I'm really happy. I really, really enjoyed it.
yeah. Definitely a good one to end on if it comes to that. But I hope they
I
don't.
don't think it will. I think it's going to make enough that they'll do another one. I just hope it doesn't take another fucking 13 years to make it, you know?
Yeah, true.
Let's just try and aim for 5 years or 4 years or something. Or, you know,
Yeah,
while we're still alive, that'd be nice.
yeah. But I mean, with Saber handling that now, we might see a third game a fair bit sooner because like last time it was done by Relic,
And Relic
and they
died.
they did an amazing job with all their games. Unfortunately, they were well mishandled by THQ, who fucked up everything.
Yeah.
So I suspect that Space Marine was kind of in not development hell, but I think it was probably floating around doing nothing while the rights were getting snapped up by Sega. And then, or did they? I think they might have just got the Dawn of War rights. Actually, I don't know if it's got Sega at the intro to this game or not. Considering I was just looking at the roadmap of all the bloody symbols on it for the companies that were involved, you'd have thought I'd remembered that. But yeah, I mean, there was all that. It was probably quite a lot of mess to sort out beforehand, so that almost certainly delayed development.
Yeah, I imagine so. And as I say, I think that they've done a great job, and hopefully they
Yeah,
get rewarded for it and make all the money, and they get to
definitely.
make another one because I want more of this.
No.
This
Yeah,
side, this side,
I'm not seeing Sega's name on this anyway.
because there's loads of people. Well, not loads of people. There's a few malcontents on Twitter going, "Oh, you need to put the female Custodes in as DLC so that we can have some
No,
kind of female." No, no, this is a
no,
masculine game about
no, I don't.
fucking killing aliens and blowing shit up, and that's all I want it to be. I don't want
Yep,
any femininity in this at all. I want this to just be what it is, which is some dudes going around wrecking shit.
yep, yeah.
You know,
I
I'm
admire it for its purity.
yes, exactly. Yeah, not a perfect organism by any means, but
No, but very good.
very no, very
Very,
good, very good. I mean, what would you give this out of 10 if you were to rate it out of 10?
8.5.
Yeah, I think that's where I am. I think I'm yeah, I think I had too much fun with it to give it just an 8. So I
Yeah,
think, but It's not quite a 9. It's very
But it's
close, but it's not quite a 9. So I think, yeah,
pretty
eight and
good.
a half. I think 8.5, between 8 and 8.5, I would say, certainly.
Hmm.
It is really good. It's really well done. And yeah, as I say, I just hope it makes all the fucking money, mate, to be honest, because it deserves it. And hopefully, if GWC this kind of stuff
I think
being,
crossplay on the consoles helps considerably.
that's amazing. It's such a cool thing to do. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know whether or not it is much of a standard thing these days or not.
Not this seamless, no. I
Right,
mean,
okay.
with some stuff, you can get crossplay between PCs and an Xbox if there's stuff on Game Pass. Because if you've got a Microsoft account, as pretty much anyone with an Xbox has, or with a PC these days, if you sign up for Game Pass and you pay your monthly, it also carries over onto the Xbox if you have one.
Okay.
Um, and if people have got games on the Xbox and they play on Game Pass, if you install those games on your PC, you can cross play them with your mates on an Xbox if you're on a PC and vice versa, which is
Gotcha. Yeah, that
uncommon.
makes sense. Yep, yep.
But seamless crossplay and stuff is not so much. Still not that popular. I think it works for Space Marine 2 because I think it uses the Unreal 5 engine and that has cross-play support built in natively, but it uses Epic Store components to do it, which
Right,
a whole
got you.
bunch of people whinged about, which is why you have to
That's why
install it.
you've got
You
to
don't
install
have to.
Epic for the multiplayer, basically, to make it the
That's why
crossplay
you're
work.
prompted to install them when you first install Space Marine 2, but you don't have to.
Right.
But if you don't install them, you can't crossplay. You can still play on PC and whatnot
Yeah.
with other PC people, but it won't crossplay to consoles.
Let's be fair enough. Let's be honest, it's fair enough, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah. I
if
mean, apparently the PvP isn't crossplay anyway. So the PvP is PC versus PC and console versus console. And
that's right, it's
apparently,
just the ops, isn't it?
yeah, and Saber said no, that's entirely intentional because we wanted to keep it fair with different controller inputs, giving different experiences of play.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But like the ops and campaign are 100% crossplay from like PC to Xbox to PS5, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's
Pretty good going.
awesome.
I think
Yeah.
we should go and play it now. Actually,
I agree. I agree. I think we should. But before we do, I just wanted to touch on one other thing that has been
yes.
eating up a lot of my time, and it is all your fault, Matt. And that is Tacticus,
Fantastic.
which is a mobile phone game that you've probably seen advertised. We are not sponsored by it.
Yeah.
If we were to be approached for a sponsorship, I would probably say yes, because honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's better than I thought it'd be, mate. It really is. And while it's got all of the trappings of a mobile phone game in that it wants you to spend money, it wants you to do this and that, and it never feels particularly compelled at any point.
No.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a mobile phone game through and through. So there's that fucking battle
It is.
passes and cosmetic and like things you can buy
Yeah.
out the
Let's not fuck.
wazoo.
Let's not fuck around. It's absolutely pay to win.
It's
100%. If you want resources up the wazoo, you can pay real money pounds for them, and
yes,
you will get them, and it gives you a significant advantage over people that don't.
yes,
But on the flip side, I think apart from just one arena mode that I've not tried, it is not real time PvP. So it's a little bit of a moot point. It doesn't give you a massive disadvantage
no, it's kind of using that
against other people. It just
AI
means you,
version of it, isn't it?
yeah, it just means that you get access to less stuff in that time frame than you
Yeah,
would from someone who's throwing money at it.
yeah. I mean, I mean is like, so obviously I don't really do PvP or any of that kind of stuff, especially on mobile games.
No,
I just I can't be asked. But playing through the campaign and stuff, I've got to the point now where I'm going to have to grind. But if you're just happy playing it at your own pace, I mean, I got up to like level 60 before I'm now at the point like fucking I'm just getting owned, and I need to do some work to get back at the other side. So
yeah,
although it is it constantly obviously throws things at you saying, spend money with us because you should spend money with us kind of thing, but all mobile phone games do that. This isn't a bad little game. It's got a nice little bit of strategy into it and some decent, sort of random number of generation. It's in universe. There's actually like a little bit of a story and stuff. And
Yep.
yeah, it's not bad. I would say it's actually honestly worth a play. I really would. So I just want to mention that
thoroughly
because
enjoy it.
you recommended it, and I was like, oh god, no, it's going to suck. And
How dare you?
it does suck, but the reason it sucks is because it's taken all my fucking time. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. So check it out. I guess I suppose
I think my
don't if you end
my
up spending
favourite
loads of
faction.
fucking money on it, but check it out.
Yeah, but
Quite enjoy it.
I think the Orcs are my least favourite faction. And my Tyranids are my favourite.
Well, I've only used I've not unlocked enough characters to really do any more than just the basics at the moment. So I'm still bimbling about the Space Marines I unlock, and because I'm a lore purist, I don't feel good about mixing in a Death Guard into the Ultramarine squad. But is that something you go? I presume you can go cross race in the same squad.
It depends on the game type. If
Oh,
you're
okay.
doing if you're part of a guild, which
Yeah.
I strongly suggest you do, because then you get like guild raids, which
Okay.
is you take it in turns to whittle down a boss,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
what's it like consecutive bosses. When you do that, you can literally just throw a team of 5 whatevers together,
Right.
so it doesn't matter.
But in the campaign, I
Um,
won't be having a random
no,
Death Guard turning up with my
no,
Ultramarines or anything.
no. In a
That's good.
campaign, they're all kind of segregated. So I think you can mix in Death Guard with your Black Legion,
Right,
but
okay, so
then
that makes sense. I can put
but
other
then
Imperials in with my Ultramarines then, but not, yeah.
yeah,
Because obviously
you're
I've
not
already
doing
got a Sister of Battle in there, haven't I? So that's cool.
you got the Flamer one.
Yeah, she's
Can't
she's
remember
something
her
you
name. Yeah,
unlock during the campaign, yeah. So
yeah.
I'll put some
She's
more
actually
time
really
into it.
useful.
She's pretty cool. I like her ability where she can flame stuff twice, and I like
Yep.
her zeal. Go on, sister, you're great. But yeah,
It's been
they
so
all
long
speak like Space Marines
because
do, and
because I've played this for well over a year. It's been so long since I finished any of the campaigns. I'm just like I can't remember what any of the story was about at all.
Well, as I say, I'm not going to put any money into it or anything because GW costs enough as it is. But
Yeah,
it's a nice little time waste.
yeah.
So
Sorry about
yeah, no, that's cool. I'm fun with it.
that.
I'm having fun with it. So sound off, guys and girls. Let us know what you think about our topics today. What you think about the animation from Custodes, Space Marine 2, yay, and Tacticus. So we're going to go play some Space Marine 2, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Right, we'll catch you guys later then, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Let's go, brother or sister, to channel Monty Python.